30 seconds. Ten. Come on, Levinsky, where are you?
Oh, I'm here, baby.
Oh, I know.
3, 2, 1. Let's roll it out, everybody. Hey now, race week. It's race week, guys. Airman, Arizona, coming up Sunday. Yeah, yours truly. I'll be out there. Kicking ass and taking names is what they say. We ready for that, O'Driscoll?
I'm ready to spend another Sunday on the tracker, just tracking everybody. Last weekend was Tim. This weekend's going to be you and a couple of more people. What a way to spend a Sunday, tracking your buddies.
Oh, yeah. Teammates. All right, guys, get the legs going. Got some good high intensity work here. Gonna build up to it. And then meat of the main set will be our threshold. Eli's birthday yesterday. Eli, happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Coach Eli. Happy birthday to you. Hey, there you go. What do you have to say for yourself, bud?
Thank you.
Serenaded.
Thank you. That was quite a rendition. You got an awesome voice there, Jim.
That's what I do.
Smooth. Smooth.
Hey, Eli, my birthday's on Friday.
No, no kidding.
Look at you guys.
Well, for me, this is a good one because I'm aging up in the new age group. So looking forward to that for next season.
I got still a couple years for that.
I'm not trying to upstage anybody, but today is my beautiful wife's birthday.
Yep.
Hey,
Right now.
you there?
Happy birthday, Audra.
That's the most important one.
Hot Rod. Jerry Rodriguez is FaceTiming me at 5:45 in the morning. Audra's birthday. Happy birthday. You want it again?
Yeah.
That's a 2 p.m. call rendition. You want more of that singing? Audra's going to get it at 2 p.m. All right, guys. Grant's just getting on. Just in time for some 30-second pickups. Or a 30-second pickup. A slight build here. Over the course of the next few minutes. Don't worry about so much about foot speed. Just get the legs going. Drive the knees, relax the lower leg. 30 seconds at 75%. 2, 1. Nice and easy, nice and fluid, nice and relaxed. Big deep breaths. Just getting warmed up. And chill out, back it down 1 minute, nice and easy. So we're gonna come up slightly. Each effort here, increase time a little bit as we go. Nice and light on the pedals. Just relax. Feel like you need a little more time before we start getting into any intensity. You can hit that down arrow a couple times. A little less load. Give yourself more time to work up and into the effort. I want you guys to get quality out of the main set, so we got to make sure we dose out the intensity accordingly. But if you're feeling good, we're going to be at 80% here for a minute. Let's bring our cadence up again. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, so drive those knees straight up and down, good alignment. Wiggle your toes, release your ankle. Upper body's nice and relaxed. Weights over the saddle. Remember, if you're putting a ton of weight on that front end, you're losing watts that you should be transferring into the pedals, which propel you forward. Leaning over that front end, whether you're on a road bike or a TT bike, doesn't do much to help move you forward. It's like old granny white knuckling the steering wheel. 2, 1, spin it out easy. Don't be old granny. Relax the upper body. Relax the grip on your bars. Bring the weight back over the bottom bracket. Drive the knees. Good power transfer into that bottom bracket. We had a good team ride on Sunday morning, the Indian Wells course. About 20 athletes on there. Some weren't even racing, but it was a good quality session. Race-like feel. Some good info conveyed by the coaches. So we'll try and do that every Sunday from here on out in the winter. Get some accountability. 2, 1, 80% again, 3 minutes. Bring our cadence a little lower here. So bring that cadence down, 65 to 75. Shouldn't be too difficult at the 80% effort. But if it is, hit the down arrow. And just hang in there at a slightly lower wattage. But I was having a conversation with an athlete yesterday who's had some health problems, and she's on her way back. We were talking about another athlete who always says, oh, I want to be an Ironman. I want to be an Ironman. I want to be an Ironman. And this isn't an athlete we coach. But then you look at the training, and the training doesn't support the goal or that North Star of wanting to be an Ironman. It's really easy to say, I want to be an Ironman. I want to cross that finish line. I want a PR. I want to be fit. I want to lose the weight. I want to be at this goal weight. I want to lift, bench press this much. But do your actions support the goal? A lot of times those actions are just showing up consistently day after day. Not the best workout, not the worst workout. Just getting the session in. Turning the training peaks green. Showing up. You guys show up. You're here. You're consistent. You're focused. You're using your teammates to help motivate you to get on the bike at the butt crack of dawn. But it's not easy. For easy, everybody would do it, right? It's easy to say what you want your goal to be, but to do it and change your life to make the training happen, that's the tough part. All right, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hopefully you guys had a low cadence there. We're starting to turn on those glutes. Hamstrings are supporting. If you're feeling any stress in the IT band or the adductor, the knees are probably a little wobbly. We need to straighten those out. But you might say, why, Coach Jim, why are you doing an intense session like this 5 days out from an Ironman? Just because we got an Ironman, we're in taper mode, we're bringing our volume down, doesn't mean we cut out the intensity. Our bodies are creatures of habit. We go in the race week and we just shut it down, do some soft pedaling. We're going to go into race day stale, not able to achieve our best. 2, 1, 85% cadence, 65 to 75. Got to keep those legs sharp, keep the body sharp, keep the mind sharp. Get in the intensity without overcooking it. Don't dig a huge fatigue hole. Keep the body working. So I'm right there with you every step of the way on this one, guys. Got on your TT bike, you can start working into that TT position. Press those elbows down, pull on the hands a little bit. Keep that head up above those hands, get out of the wind. And cadence is low. So focus on that left knee, drive it straight down. Drop your left heel. Scrape the left heel under the bottom. Float the right knee up. Relax the hip flexor. Float it through the top. Think about how that pedal stroke works together. You get maximum efficiency and power per pedal stroke. Bring that cadence down, guys. 60 to 70 if you can. Bring it down a couple RPMs. Think about the other side. Drive the right knee down. Scrape the right heel under. Float the left knee up. Relax that left hip flexor. Float the left knee through the top. Work it together. So 80% effort. We've been there for almost 3 minutes. How's the heart rate look? Might be a couple ticks lower than typical because of the lower cadence. Which should be pretty close to your 80% heart rate. 80 to 85% heart rate. As you drop the heel in the front, you need to feel that glute work. I don't want you to feel stress in your knees or your shins. I want you to feel stress in those glutes, hamstrings supporting. But some athletes tell me lately they have lower back pain when they come off the bike. 3, 2, One, a lot of times that lower back pain is caused by a seat saddle being a touch too high. Because if my seat is too high, you look at the screen right now, and I'm pedaling, turn my ERG off, and I'm pedaling, my seat's too high, my foot's clipped in, right? It's clipped into the cleat. So as I come down, that cleat pulls my leg out here because it's being yanked at the bottom. It's in a set position in that cleat, in that pedal cleat interface. So as you come down, if your saddle's too high, you have no choice but to overextend and be pulled out of alignment and out of the socket right here in the hip. And that shows up in the lower back. So you should not get off the bike being in more pain than when you started. All right, 90% low cadence in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And if that lower back is sore when you get off, you may want to think about not an overly drastic change, because you want to see a bike fit specialist if you're going to make major changes to your bike position. But you can drop the saddle by a 0.5 centimeter and see if that helps your lower back. Takes that pain away. But I've had a few athletes in the past couple weeks send me videos telling me, hey, I got lower back pain. I say, send me a video of you riding. And time again, I see a little overextension the bottom of the pedal stroke. So something just to think about, guys. Our cadence is low, 65 to 75. You're feeling good. Drop it even lower, 60 to 70.
Hey, my wife just walked by as you were talking about lower back pain, how to alleviate it. And she shouted out, core strength. Oh,
Right. Got to be on the strength. Go to Zone 7 Fitness in the South Bay.
it's a little plug there. Good.
Assume she's still there. Got to get on Allie's good side.
Oh, she's always there, man.
All right, guys, find your rhythm. Nice, smooth pedal stroke. Keeping the ankle relaxed. Even at the lower cadence, we're not fighting the pedals. So we'll talk about Arizona this weekend. I know as I head out on the highway where it's the majority of the ride, the 3-loop course, every time I hit the highway, beeline highway, it's uphill, only about 1 to 2%, nothing too crazy, but there's a headwind in your face. It's a grind, it's hard. I gotta keep reminding myself, relax, drive the knees, relax the lower leg. Lighten my grip on the bars, bring the weight back. Keep everything smooth and efficient. 1 pedal stroke at a time, 1 mile at a time. Before I know it, I'll make the turn and I'll be ripping back at 40 plus miles an hour. This is a great opportunity to practice that, visualize climbing or riding into a headwind. When the resistance is up, how do you respond? Release the tension, relax. Keep everything smooth and efficient. Cadence is low, 60 to 70, 90% effort, Visualize yourself climbing, or visualize yourself riding into the wind, like we spoke so much about on Sunday morning at the Indian Wells course. First 5 miles, you feel like you're gonna break the half Ironman bike course record. You're flying so fast. I'm gonna finish this bike in less than 2 hours because you have a tailwind out of transition, flying. Then you make a turn and your dreams are shattered. Stop dead in your tracks. 2, 1. All right, 3 minutes easy. But Indian Wells is a great example of how you can break up a course because there's so many turns. By knowing the course, riding full gas, knowing approximately where you're making the turns on the course, you can just ride turn to turn. Okay, I'm gonna have a headwind. I'm gonna make a U-turn. Now I'm gonna have a tailwind. I'm gonna make a left. I'm gonna have a crosswind. And now you're breaking it up without really even thinking about how much you've done or how much you have left. All you're thinking about is where you're turning. That's why full gas, this isn't an ad for full gas, but such a great tool to get to know. Eli, do you find that beneficial? Being an East Coaster coming out, riding on Palm Springs or Palm Desert?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish I could feel that wind. That would be ideal. But yeah, no, there's no question about thinking about where your mind needs to be on those long stretches of flat road. It's awesome practice. I'd like to touch on something that we've been listening to, a lot of motivational little, books and podcasts and things. And one coach recently talked about, what goes on in your mind before you start a race. And if you just don't say anything, go into the crowd and just listen to the conversation, and you can hear everybody's little niggle, like, oh, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do today. My knee's been bothering me. I haven't been training that much this week. All the preparatory excuses for how they're going to do that day. And it really takes a lot to not give in and focus on your own game, stay in it, and do what you need to do.
That's it. It's really good. Know your pre-race ritual, your routine, and stick to it. Don't let anybody else influence you. Whether you're racing a half Ironman, half marathon, 10K, 5K, Ironman, stick to your ritual. Don't let that noise creep in. Really good point, Eli. All right, 3 minutes at threshold. 3, 2, 1. Let's take it 1 minute at a time. Don't overcook it. Keep it right at that threshold number. Cadence, 75 to 80. I don't want your cadence too low or too high. Find that rhythm. Nice, smooth pedal stroke. Perfect pedaling, guys. We start with the knees. Are your knees in good alignment? No wobble, straight up and down. Watch your left knee. 30 pedal strokes. Count to yourself, left knee drives straight down, floats straight up. Count to yourself for 30. Let's go. Good, over to the right knee. Count out for 30, straight up and down. Let's go. Good. Now together. Pistons of an engine. Up and down. Left knee, right knee. Don't let them knock that top tube. If anything, press them out a little bit. Get into those glutes. 3, 2, 1. Spin it out easy. Good. All right. Now we're knocking the rust off. So how'd that go? We're up the race pace cadence. We're blending foot speed and strength by meeting in the middle. We're 27 minutes in. It's an hour 20 workout, plus a lot of you have a run off the bike. Gotta stay on your gel. Stay on the gel. Who just said that about coming back from injury? Is that Leslie? Leslie talked about coming back from injury really sucks, right? She's used to one level of performance. Her body takes a hit and that performance drops. It's not capable of that. But we know with her consistency and focus and her ability to check her ego, she'll be back and stronger than ever in no time. If she were just to say, screw this, I'm not as strong as I used to be, I'm just going to quit. We'd never see that Leslie blossom and bloom into what we all know she can be. But she shows up day after day, checks herself, doesn't worry about whatever else is doing, knowing she's 1,000 times stronger than O'Driscoll in the long run. But not paying attention to the comparison at this very moment. Proud of you, girl. Way to keep showing up. Persevere through the adversity. Not easy thing to do. Bring it back to the athlete I was speaking about at the beginning of the session, who wants the achievement, but doesn't want to commit to the process. This athlete always has an excuse as to why things can't get done. Seriously, I think I've heard in the past my dog ate my homework. I think I heard that. All right, threshold again, 4 minutes. Race pace cadence, 2, 1. Let's go. We can always find excuses. We can always find reasons not to do it. Madeline came in my bed last night, which she doesn't do very often, but she proceeded to kick me in the ribs every 15 minutes from 1:30 to when I woke up at 4:30. Wasn't the best night's sleep. But I knew I had my team. I knew I had to be on the bike at 5:45. I got out and I'm here. Would have been real easy to say, beep, boop, bop, boop, boop. Eli, Emily, Johnny, O'Driscoll. I probably slept 2 hours last night. I need somebody else to jump in. I got to sleep. Not saying sleep's not important. Well, you got to get the work done. Check the excuses. Are they real excuses or just outs to keep you from the pain of the effort? All right, guys, cadence 75 to 80. We're in our rhythm. Weights back on the saddle. Relax your head. Don't crank your head up and put that stress on the back of the neck. You get off the bike and your traps and your neck are hurting. You're carrying too much tension in that neck as you ride. Relax your shoulders. Relax your traps. Shake out the head. Soften your elbows. Wiggle your fingers. Release the tension out of that upper body. Big deep breaths. Breathe in any areas that are a little tight, or where you feel that tension mounting. And remember Coach Emily's saying, relax is fast, fast is relax. Good, keep it right there. Three, two, one, good. Spin it out, 3 minutes. That's how you knock it out. You stay present, you focus on the process. Then you know it, you're through the 4 minutes. These rides for me, they fly by. And I'm never paying attention to the time left or the time we've done. All I pay attention to is you guys and what we're focusing on at that current moment. And that mindset transfers into racing. It helps me stay present and focus on the process. Sure, 112 miles is a long way to go, but you're only focused on one moment at a time. Goes by pretty quick. Okay, what are you thinking?
Well, number one was on my mind is make sure you're hydrating. Two was Eli's thought of what I want to reflect on is your mental thinking, right? Like he's talking about walking through the crowd and hearing all the woes. I tend to, good friend said, choose happy. Choose your destiny. Choose your thinking. Because that leads to what you're going to do. Don't say I have a problem. Say, hey, I had a problem. I worked through it. And now I feel great. And I'm going to do great today. I'm going to great tomorrow. So choose your destiny.
Exactly. It's easy to be a sad sack and let that problem Johnny's talking about being an excuse as to why you're not going to perform on that given day. Move through the problem, you get by the hurdle, you forget about it, you keep moving forward. But it's easy to dwell because it gives you a free out. And we've all been there. We all want that free out. We don't want to feel the pressure we put on ourselves to perform. But you got to change that mindset. Good point, Johnny. You got to shut off the noise, shut off the doubt, shut off the excuse, and perform. Here we go. 2, 1. 5 minutes at threshold. It's the longest one you're going to do. Drive
So
that
what,
left
Tim, when
knee
you're-
straight. Huh?
Sorry.
Go.
When you're on that highway, the B line, and you're hitting that wind, you're going to say, oh, a nice breeze cooling me down. Oh, this is perfect. When you get to that turnaround and you start coming back, you're like, for every uphill, there's a downhill, right? That's when you always think the positive. As soon as you start to think back, everything starts going down. You know, if something happens on your bike, drop your bottle. You know, just what we always been talking about. How am I going to push through this? How am I going to finish this race? How am I going to, it's not anything else, but how to finish the workout or how to finish the day.
Yep. Reframe it. Turn it a negative into a positive. I'm going down that highway into the headwind. I think there's nobody stronger than me on this course. There's nobody that's pushed me in training like my teammates have. There's nothing that could pop up on this course that I can't overcome better than anybody else because I did the work. I challenged myself. I have the tools in the toolbox to succeed when others might succumb to the hurdle. Tristan's over there cracking jokes. Up arrow, Tristan. Up arrow, Tristan. Come on. No jokes. That's for me. All right, halfway through. 30 seconds at a time. Ride 30 to 30 to 30. Think about where that weight is displaced. Wiggle your fingers. You have enough weight on the front end to steer, but you're not leaning into it. You're melting into the saddle, using that platform to drive the knees, which are creating the power and the momentum to move you forward. No stress in the lower legs. No stress in the ankle. Wiggle your toes. Cadence 75 to 80. Right, 30 seconds to the next. For 30 seconds, drive your left knee down, float your right knee up. Drive your right knee down, float your left knee up. 30 seconds. Three, two, good. Spin it out. Very nice. Nice and easy. Give you extra minute here, 4 minutes. Now we come down. Keeping a threshold. Raise pace cadence. 4 minutes, 3 minutes. But we don't lose focus just because we're dropping the time. We don't all of a sudden let our brains jump to the end of the workout, forgetting that we got to focus and aim small. Keep your legs moving. If you need to turn the ERG off to get some extra recovery, do it. All right, Eli, what do you got? Birthday boy.
I was going to say for this next interval, take some time, like take a minute and close your eyes. Remove all the distractions. Close your eyes and see if you can maintain that cadence at that same power. Focus on your breathing, just your breathing and how it feels, and see how you do at the end of a minute of eyes closed cycling.
Got a wardrobe change. Way too wet. All right, keep drinking, guys. Eli, remind us to do that in the next interval.
Copy that. We'll do it in the second minute.
All right, so we're 43 minutes in. You probably have taken a gel or two by now. Hopefully you have. Talking to another athlete yesterday who's obsessed with doing time trial position drills. And I'm not saying your time trial position doesn't have to be adapted to and optimized, but this athlete just wants to do drills and doesn't want to do the work. Wants to soft pedal in the TT position because they think that's going to be the key to their success. It's like going to the pool and just doing total immersion swimming without actually swimming laps, just doing drills. You got to do the work, guys. You got to get into the effort, get into that pain cave, make the gains, put the stress on the system, put the stress on the muscles. Adapt to that stress. Get stronger, more powerful, fitter. But it's another reason athletes use, oh, I got to do more drills to avoid the pain of the effort. Take the easy way out. Not easy if you want success. Reach, recover, adapt. Let's reach. Here we go. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Race pace cadence, 75 to 80.
Yeah, for this first minute, pay attention to what your cadence is, what your power is, how you're breathing, your heart rate. Look at all those numbers now. Zone in for the first minute. And then in that second minute, we'll close our eyes. We'll call out every 20 seconds when we do that.
All right, I'm ready. I got the rhythm. I got the feel.
If you're on a tri bike, get on your arrow position for this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Eyes closed.
Eyes closed. Feel the rhythm.
Twenty seconds down. Remove those distractions. Just focus. Twenty seconds to go. Keep it there. Keep it steady. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now check with it. See how you did.
How's
Did
your
you make
cadence?
it?
How's your heart rate? Good one, coach. Now it's your turn. 5 seconds for Eli. Go. Hopefully you guys had that groove. Found the rhythm. Cadence stayed the same. You blocked out the distractions. 20 seconds in, Eli. You quieted the noise. That's the flow we want to tap into when we're on course. 20 to go, Eli. Mimic that relaxation, mimic that breathing, that fluidity you had when there was nothing penetrating that focus. 2, 1, Eli, you're done.
All right.
How'd it look?
Looks perfect.
Of course. All right, guys, 20 seconds. Hang right there. Keep driving your knees. Drop the heel, scrape it under. Float the foot up. Float it through the top. Three, 2, 1. Spin it out. Good. So I'm going to share a link to a book Leah sent me. Leah Pate, who's racing Arizona as well. It's called Peak Performance. I'll share that on the email today. But it's really great stuff, guys. It's not overly complex, but it talks about different things you can tap into and reminders that you can use to motivate and to be the best you can be day in and day out. Very digestible. It's not over our head. I say that for me, and I got a low bar. So Peak Performance by Steve Magnus. I'll share the link, but I think we all need to read this book. If I read more than one page a night before I went to bed, I'd be done with the book pretty quick. But I'm like Doug Flynn. We only read one page a night and then we fall asleep. 1.5. All right, Doug, 1.5. All right, last threshold effort coming up, 3 minutes. Oh, it's a walk in the park. Don't think that. Don't count your eggs before they're chickens. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, right? Is that what it is? O'Driscoll doesn't know.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry,
Don't count your eggs before they're chickens.
that was close.
Don't count your double yolks before you make breakfast. Am I right, Dougie? Double yolk, Doug. This guy gets more double yolks.
We haven't had a
Anyway,
double yolk since he got out.
Oh, he sent me a double yolk a couple weeks ago. This guy makes
Yeah,
breakfast
okay,
every
good.
morning.
Yeah.
Cracks an egg. I don't know if he videos every time he cracks eggs or what, but he sends me double yolks 3 times a week.
That's Boise eggs for you.
Don't count your bacon. Okay, all right, guys. We are on this morning. Double yolk Michael doesn't have the same ring as double yolk Doug. I'll share the link, Catherine. You're supposed to be riding right now, not looking up links. 2, 1, let's go. Last one. Many yolk melon. All right, guys. We'll be here all night. Let's go. 75 to 80 cadence, 30 seconds at a time. Don't count your double yolks. All right. We'll finish it with that. Stay focused on the process. Watch that heart rate. Should be a theme over the course of the last 6 efforts as to where that heart rate is settling as you execute threshold. It's not settling. We got to put a little more work into your aerobic floor. If you know your threshold heart rate is 165, but your heart rate's been settling at 159, you're getting stronger. You need to hit the up arrow. Because the heart rate, the threshold heart rate, is the threshold heart rate. Those numbers don't change. The power changes. All right, 1 minute. Good, right all the way to the line. Stay focused on the process. Three, two, one. All right, so what I was saying there is our heart rate zones are zones. If you know 70 to 80% is 140 to 150 beats per minute, that's what it is. That's not changing. What changes the power output at those zones. For example, in my own case, I know my threshold after years and years and years doing threshold work is 165 beats a minute. Now, I didn't want to overcook myself, so I was allowing myself to settle in at 159 base beats per minute based on my previous threshold of 335, right? So my heart rate throughout the entire set was where the power had been set at threshold for months, 335. But my heart rate was 6 beats lower than what I know my threshold heart rate is. So on that last effort, I hit the up arrow to get my heart rate up to what I know my threshold is, 165. I had to go up to 365 watts over the first minute to get the heart rate up to hold at 165. So I was up 30 watts over where I had been at the past at the same heart rate. That's gains, guys. That's what we want to see as coaches. We want to look and say, hey, they're putting out more power at the same or less effort. That's how we get strong. That's how we get fast. That's how we gauge progress. But you don't do that by soft pedaling. Got to build the tools in the toolbox. All right, so we have a 5-minute effort left. Each minute, we're going to come up for 3 minutes, and then we'll come down. Cadence increases with each minute as well. And then it comes down with each minute once we hit the top. So we're going to start with a cadence of 80 to 85. Three, two, one. All right, 80 to 85 cadence. Efforts at 90%, nothing too crazy. I want you to feel the difference in pressure applied to the pedals. 10% lower power than we've been executing. Upper body's relaxed. Big deep breaths. Knees are straight up and down. You're racing Indian Wells. I need you working that TT position early and often. All right, we could bring our cadence up. 85 to 90. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Effort comes up to 95%. Cadence comes up slightly. Take the stress out of the lower leg. Float the knee up the back. That'll help you gain RPMs if you need to. Coming up the threshold. Cadence into the 90s. 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Come on, bring your cadence up. Light on your feet. Drive your knees. Weight back on the saddle. No rocking, no swaying, no bouncing. Nice, stable, relaxed upper body. Hold on to that cadence. Bring your cadence down, 85 to 90. 3, 2, 1, 95%. Slow your feet slightly, stay on the pedals. Recover at tempo. Gain that resiliency. Ability to recover while still pushing good power. Come on, guys, keep the legs moving. Don't sow your oats. We're not done. Stay on your hydration. Three, 2, cadence 80 to 85. 90%. Take it 15 seconds at a time. Focus on the process. Stay in the moment. All the way to the line. We don't let up. 3, 2, 1. Spin it out. All right. So Thursday, we got our 15 minutes or 15 minutes aerobic floor effort coming up. So try and stay on. Strengthen that heart. Load the muscles without overdoing it. Work your TT position. But I want you guys to know your heart rate zones and be sure to wear your heart rate monitor on Thursday.
I have a couple of questions, but I'll wait till you get into this 15-minute effort.
Yeah, this is what they do in the TV biz. They do this. Lengthen, lengthen. Draw it out. It's time on the clock. Wait a minute, hang on. Hopefully everybody's gonna be on the 2 p.m. call. But if you're not gonna be on the 2 p.m. call, let's sing the Audra. Everybody on mute. We're gonna sing the Audra. Here we go. 1 and 2. Happy birthday to you.
Birthday.
Happy birthday to
You.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that was ugly. Oh, bunch of dogs there, see? Yeah.
That hurt.
Audra, what do you have to say for yourself? Remember, lengthen, extend.
That was the most unique birthday song I've ever had, I think. But thank you.
It took you 29 years to hear the most unique birthday song.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. 3 years till next age group.
Make sure you show up at the swim tomorrow.
I'll be there.
29 100s in honor of every year you've been on this planet.
Can I do them in butterfly, please?
Yes, butterfly with an
Yeah.
ankle strap. It's an honor and a privilege to spend your birthday morning with you, or you want to spend your birthday morning with me.
On Jim, on Friday, we're going to do like something like 58 200s for 58 minutes.
What?
Friday track.
Friday? Yeah, Friday. Who's 58? You? I
Yeah.
thought you were 63.
Thanks.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, O'Driscoll, what do you got?
So tell me what your race plan is leading up to Sunday. And then where's your mindset on Sunday? Do you take it, especially when you're on the bike, do you take it like 2 minutes at a time? And then you take a sip, and then 15 minutes, take a gel. And then where does your mind go? Are you thinking about us? Are you thinking about all the people that are watching you? Are you looking at your power? You don't race on power, but looking at your heart rate? What do you do?
Keep an eye on the heart rate. I always time the interval of the nutrition. But this is where knowing the course is so crucial. Like I was talking about on Indian Wells on Sunday, Arizona. This is probably it was my first Ironman in 2008. But since then, what was that, 16 years? I've probably done it. Maybe this will be my 10th time. So I know the course better than any course I've ever raced. So all I'm doing is looking forward to that specific spot in the course, knowing what's to come. There's no question as to what I have ahead of me from an execution course standpoint. I know where every nook and cranny of that course is, and it helps me stay present, focused on the process, because I'm not thinking, oh my God, what the hell am I going to encounter next? What's to come? Where am I going to turn? Am I going to see an uphill? Am I going to see a downhill? Where's the wind going to be? I know all that stuff. So it helps me just watch the heart rate, stay tuned in the nutrition, focus on my breathing. Occasionally, yeah, I do bring you guys up and use that as motivation when the going gets tough. But I don't use it from a pressure standpoint. Yeah, a lot of athletes think, oh my God, what's Kuno going to think of me if I shit the bed right here? Or if I'm not going 25 miles an hour every second of the bike. I use it as motivation that those guys wake up BCD to help me push to the next level. I'm not going to succumb to the weakness. I'm going to fight right through it and come out stronger on the other side. So I use it as a motivation, not as a pressure. Going in the race day, I like to show up at the last possible moment. The latest I can get to a race venue, I know for me, that helps me stay focused and present and not let distractions creep in.
You don't listen to any noise. You don't listen to people around you complaining, oh, my knee hurts. I didn't sleep well. You don't listen to any of that.
You hear it. You definitely hear it. But that's where you got to have the confidence and the faith that we preach session after session after session, but believing in yourself, your ability levels, the work you did going in, your execution strategy that we've went over. That's where that confidence is built. And it helps you tune out that noise from less competent athletes.
So we have a lot of new riders on this morning. I challenge any one of you new riders that wants to ask Jim a question, or any of the other coaches. Unmute, ask him a question. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. Ask the question, ask the coach. Come on, Albert.
But I also know what works for me nutrition wise, and I know what doesn't work for me.
What's your diet like? This is Albert, by the way. Nice to meet you guys.
Hey, Albert. Diet day to day or diet within the racing?
Day to day, and then I guess racing.
I mean, I like carbohydrates get such a negative voice nowadays, but I eat a lot of carbohydrates throughout the day. Carbohydrates, your body fuels on that high end energy. And we're working as much as we're working. If we're working at our job, dealing with our family, trying to train and get the most out of our performance, you need to use the carbohydrates as fuel while balancing your diet with protein, vegetables. So, long answer, it's well-rounded. There's no one fad diet or one secret routine you can stick to that's going to lead to more benefit over another. A well-rounded diet, carbohydrates, fats, protein, vegetables, fruits, frequently bringing in those calories is going to allow you to keep that energy up throughout the day without crashing.
Where do the majority of your carbohydrates come from? Is it bread, vegetables, oats, candy?
Yes, all of the above. Bread, oats, candy, pasta, every meal. So this morning, this is what I'll eat. I'll have 4 eggs, 2 hash browns, piece of toast. Lunch, sandwich, maybe turkey on it, whole wheat bread, potato chips, and some fruit. Dinner, Monday, maybe tacos, either ground turkey, ground beef, 3 or 4 tacos with flour tortillas, salsa, beans on the side, maybe some rice. So it's not one specific mode. And then Michael Mallow doesn't like to hear this, but I eat a lot of candy before I go to sleep. Not a lot, but some Swedish fish or something. And I'm convinced that helps me absorb more carbohydrates, more gels and drink on race day, because I'm not ultra clean in what I eat. Nothing wrong with that, and you don't have to eat like a slob and throw down a 2-pound bag of Starburst jelly beans every night. But I find that having a little bit of extra sugar in your diet helps you
Good
digest
question, Kimmy.
that race day sugars. What's that?
I have a good question. How do you balance life, training, family? There's a lot of new guys on here, and there's one on there in particular who's got a beautiful young baby, and he's going to struggle in the next couple of weeks doing some of these workouts. And I told him yesterday, you've got to find balance. And some days you're not going to get it. Some days you're going to have to skip a workout. What do you do? Because you're busy, got busy family, kids running around. How do you go through the week with balance?
Well, you do what you can do.
You got to
That's
keep
it.
everybody happy, starting with the home life, starting with your job. Can't be missing out on what's important because you have an hour training session. So you try and find time for it, whether getting up early, getting the kids to bed and knocking out then, or squeezing it in during a nap. It also might mean cutting it short or cutting it out because, like we said early in the ride, it's all about that consistency. Not necessarily about having to get in 2 hours every day. You get in something, 30 minutes, you're fitter at the end of the day than you were when you started, even if it's just 30 minutes. But too many athletes see an hour on their schedule. Damn, can't do an hour. I'm just going to skip the whole thing.
Something is better than nothing.
Exactly. But it has to all be within what time available. And that goes rest as well. You can't put the kid to bed at 10 p.m., get on the bike at 10:15, ride at 11:15, expect to get to bed anytime before midnight, and wake up the next day and keep doing that over and over and over again. You're going to get sick. You're going to get injured. So you need to work sleep and rest and time to eat those Swedish fish into your schedule as well.
So what would you do if you skip a workout? Would you just go, screw it, take a mulligan and do it the next day, or
I'll
double
tell
up?
my coach, see if that coach wanted to move things around. That's what we're here for.
Thank you. The answer I was looking for.
And maybe the coach will say, yeah, forget it, move to tomorrow. Or
Yep.
that's a key workout. I'm going to move it to tomorrow. Do you have enough time? Do we have to shorten it? And I'm going to move tomorrow's workout to some other day or delete it.
Come on, guys. New guys, Hope, ask Jimmy a question, please. You'll never get another opportunity.
Sorry, guys. 70% effort, race pace cadence, work that TT position. Grant, what do you got?
Race day, feed, hydration setup. We've been experimenting the last few months with a bunch of different products and whatnot. I feel like I'm kind of getting lost now, like off in the wrong direction.
Race day
For
hydration
a half
setup.
for a half Ironman, how are you set up, and how often?
Half Ironman, I have, and what I recommend to you guys, you have 2 bottles on your bike. That's it. 56 miles, 3 opportunity aid stations, a bottle in the front on your bars. And if you don't have anything that goes on your bars, you can go to XLab. They have some great bar end products. The bar in the front has your electrolytes, pH 750, 1000, or 1500. Stay away. I'm sorry. Stay away from the element. You can use it in training, but the artificial sweetener gives you the shits. So sorry,
Oh.
just being real.
Oh,
Front
my.
end, electrolytes, pH.
Element, is that the same as that liquid IV? Element and liquid IV kind of the same?
Forget all those. Go by Precision Hydration. Liquid IV, Element, yeah, there's our electrolytes, but they have artificial sweeteners that mess with stomach. So that's your first bottle between your bars. That's what you sip on frequently. Then the bottle between your legs down here, that's where you keep your gels. However many gels you're going to use for the entire duration of the ride, you put in that bottle between your legs. You rip them off the day before, dump it in the bottle, top it off with water, whatever room is left in that bottle after you fill it up with gels, fill it up the rest of the way with water. And that's your gels. You're not ripping gels throughout the ride. That's what you're sipping off of every 15 to 20 minutes. You want that gel bottle to last you the entire ride because you're only taking a mouthful every 15 to 20 minutes. Your front end bottle, that electrolyte bottle, when it's empty, you're switching it out. You're throwing that bottle away at an aid station and you're taking straight water and you're sipping on that straight water the rest of the way. That easy, Grant. 2 bottles, electrolytes in the front, gel in the bottle, between the legs. When you're out of the electrolytes, take water from the aid station and drink that. All right, bring that effort down, spin it out. Does that make sense, Grant? You good with that?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks. And how do you manage your intake on the run at the stations?
Intake on the run in a half Ironman. You
Yeah.
got to make sure that front end of the run, you're taking calories in, you're taking gel. If you're taking every 20 minutes on the bike, you can all go every 25 to 30 minutes on the run. Take one at mile 1 and another one at mile, maybe depends how fast you're running, maybe 3, maybe 4, 7 or 8, 10 or 11. And then you're grabbing cups of water, electrolyte drink, Coke from the aid stations, crushing them, throwing them in your mouth, dumping them over your head. So that's how you're getting your hydration. Mile after mile after mile, you have those cups you just smash and put in your mouth. You're not chugging it, you're just sipping it. I like to use the caffeinated white gels on the run for Morton. On the bike, I use SIS with electrolytes as my gel that goes in the bottle. Very easily diluted and goes down smooth. All right, guys, spin it out, bring that heart rate down. Really solid work. More stuff at 2 p.m. Chris, thanks for stimulating that conversation. That's the stuff we love to talk about. You come at 2 p.m., you have questions, you have things you want to go over, write it in the chat, and we'll bring it up and go over it in detail. We have best practices, we have worst practices. We want to make sure you go into race day with best practices from our own execution and all the athletes' success and failures we've had over the years, what we've learned as coaches. All right, go get recovered. If you got your run, ease into it. Stay on the calories, stay on the hydration. See you guys at 2 p.m. Awesome work, guys. Love you. Yep. Bye. Thank you. Too wet. I can't stop the recording.